guys! Okay, so today we are starting off completely barefaced because I'm going to be doing my foundation routine. This is just a routine I do pretty much every single time. But yep, let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, first off, I like using a setting spray to start out with. Most people think that's weird, but today I'm going to be using the Badescu facial spray just to kind of get it prepped. It does not taste good, just FYI. Smells like roses, but doesn't taste good. I just kind of feel like that gets my skin opened up and ready and prepared. Prepped, whatever. Now I'm going in with Lip Service from Lush. I'm just gonna prep my lips with that. Okay. The primer I'm going to be using today is the Benefit Porefessional. It's just a little sample size. I kind of still like my Dr. Brandt one better, but I'm trying not to fall in love with it because I looked up the price. It was like $60. I'm like, Jesus! Ipsy, why do you do this? So I'm working this into, I'm focusing it on my T-zone because that's where I really get oily. Like under my eyes, cheeks, down my nose is like an oil slick for real. It's also why I usually don't wear highlighter because I glisten all on my own. Okay, now I'm going to kind of let that set for a minute. But the foundation we're going to be using today is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 130 Buff Beige. This might be a little dark for me because I haven't self-tanned in a hot minute, but it's okay. We're going to work with it. I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender to apply this. You can also use a brush if you don't have a Beauty Blender. I use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It's just very dense buffing brush. I'm going to pour some on the back of my hand. You will need a little bit more if you're using the Beauty Blender than you normally would, because the Beauty Blender kind of soaks up a little tiny bit amount of product, but that's fine. I'm going to start with the more circular end and just start dotting it. I start with my cheeks because that's where I want the most coverage. And then I go to my chin and I just kind of bounce it everywhere and really getting in all the way up into the crease of my eye. Lower lash line, wow, okay. Down the sides of my nose. Blend it all the way to my ears, around my hairline. That forehead though. Oh, I also put foundation over my eyelids. I just have really pigmented and veiny eyelids, and so I like to cover them up with as much product as possible. That's just me. You can skip it over your eyelids if you are going to go in with a concealer or primer or whatever. If you're going to use a paint pot, I would suggest not putting foundation on there first. Now I'm going to go down, blend it into my neck, make sure I've got the jawline covered. Is that a pretty view? Okay, you know what I'm trying to do. I will say this foundation I like to wear because it's kind of a medium coverage. I have a lot of full coverage foundations, and so this one, it's buildable, but when I first put it on like this, it's covered the redness, it's covered most of the blemishes, but you can still see like my skin through it. Like it's still a very natural Now, if I was to build it up, I could get full coverage, but I'm going to leave it like that because the concealer I'm going to be using is heavy duty, hence the name. It's the Glamoflauge Heavy Duty Concealer by Hard Candy in the color Light. Now, I mentioned in a previous video, you kind of have to mix it up a little bit because it does kind of get watery if it sets for a while. And then you just need a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. I'm going to, again, put it on the back of my hand. And literally, like, just a tiny little dot. Like, that's it. That's all I use for all of my highlighting and concealing that I'm going to be doing. That's it. Now I'm going to flip the Beauty Blender over and use the pointed side. And just start going in. Under my eyes. Over my eyelids. And I do like the little triangle shape from my temples to the end of my nose, back up to my tear duct, and across. That's, for my face shape, I feel like that's the best triangle. If I seem like I'm kind of in a rush, I kind of am. I did not want to get out of bed today. I didn't want to do anything today. I was laying on the couch watching trashy reality TV. Real World, The Challenge, MTV. Anything on MTV, I'll pretty much watch it. But I was having the hardest time getting off the couch and getting motivated. I knew it had been a couple of days and I needed to come film, but I didn't want to. Okay. And once I pretty much got those areas covered, I just kind of use whatever product is left on the back of my hand or in the sponge. I'll dab on my chin, my Cupid's bow, down the center of my nose, in the center of my, like in between my eyebrows, kind of a tree shape, I guess you would say. Just in the center of my forehead. Alright, and I think I'm pretty much done with that. Now to set all of my concealer, I'm going to be using the E.L.F. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. I'm just going to take that powder and anywhere I put that concealer, I'm going to put this powder over it. I start with my under eye area and my eyelids just so I can get to that before it has a chance to crease. I am using the E.L.F. small tapered brush. Just looks like this. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go in, this powder is so old, but my son got a hold of my Rimmel Stay Matte powder and it just shattered everywhere. So this is the only other powder I had, and so I can go out and pick up some more. But just the Covergirl Trublend Mineral, can't even see that, powder in number 405. This is probably back when I was tanning all the time. It might be a little dark. But Rimmel Stay Matte powder is my favorite. I use, I think it's Sandstorm. I think so. I have a hair and I hate when that happens. But I'm going to use that powder and a Real Techniques multitask brush, just a big powder brush. And I start with my cheeks again because that's where I want the most coverage, and I kind of tap it on and then blend it out. Yeah, this powder is a little dark for me right now, but we'll just pretend I'm tan, okay? Do the same thing to my forehead. And then I go down the sides of my nose. Okay. And make sure I blend it down onto my neck, just so everything's even. And I even kind of go over the places where we put that E.L.F powder, just to blend it all in and give it really smooth, airbrushed finish. And I make sure and get the sides of my nose, because that's where I get the Don't talk while you're putting powder on your nose. You will inhale a bunch of it. But I'm putting powder on my nose on the sides because that's where I get the oiliest. I don't know why. And that's often the only place I will have to touch up, like throughout the day with makeup. And then I'm gonna go in with, I'm trying to decide what bronzer to use. I guess I'll use this one. I'm gonna go with the E.L.F contouring blush and bronzer powder in St. Lucia. I've heard it's a dupe for NARS Laguna, the bronzer is. I wouldn't know, I've never used that, but just gonna go in and kind of lightly bronze the cheeks, forehead area, down the sides of the temples, the hairline. On the side of my head, I kind of come all the way down to my eyebrows, but in the middle of my forehead, I stick up close to the hairline. Don't bring it all the way down. Go along the jawline, down the neck. Do down the sides of the nose. I really don't like when people are like, oh, I don't like to contour my nose, but they have such a white face. Like the whole center of your face is completely like highlighted and whited out, and it makes your nose look like flat or something. I don't know. It just makes, to me, it makes your nose look weird. You don't have to contour and like try and change the shape of your nose. Just, I want a little hand on this side. There we go. That's better. But just add some color back into the center of your face. So it doesn't, I don't know. That's just me. And I'm putting just a little bit under my bottom lip to create a bigger shadow, so my lip looks bigger. And then the blush I'm going to be using is my favorite, the Modeling Company Cosmetics blush in Peach Bellini. It's kind of this peachy color with pink and gold undertones. See that? So pretty, right? And just a Sephora powder brush. I start on the apples of my cheeks and kind of dot, and then blend it back into the bronzer. And then sometimes when there's not so much product left on my brush, I'll bring it up the sides of my temples. Then just kind of blend it over the rest of my face when there's like no product left. And then I'm gonna go in, now that I have all the powders on my face. If you want to put on a highlighter, this is where I would tell you to put it on. I personally don't wear a highlighter day to day, only on special occasions, especially because my blush is shimmery. So today I'm just going to go in with the Urban Decay De-slick Makeup Setting Spray. I have my light right there. I'm still trying to figure out lighting, but just hold on, I'll figure it out. And that's going to help your powders kind of settle in and really stick to your face and make it last all day. This hair, y'all. At least it's not as bad as it was the last video. I need to go to hair school just to learn how to do my own hair. But from here, I would do my eyebrows, my eyeshadow, my lips, all of that. And I'm going to just not record that today. I'll come back and show you all the finished look that I'm wearing today. But yeah, it's just something this is how I start off, and then I go on to do everything else. So hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm back, and here is my full face of makeup, and you can see that when you start out with a flawless foundation base, you can pretty much create any look that you want. You can go full glam like I chose to today, or you can just throw on some mascara and call it a day. But I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and give me likes and subscribes down below, and thank y'all for watching. Bye!